Good afternoon, members, officers and members of the public. My name is John Cater Clark to the committee. The public element of today's meeting are being recorded in line with the City Corporation's policies, and the recording shall be retained for up to 1 year. Chairman.
Thank you, Tony Clark. Welcome, everybody. I apologise again for the late paper last night, but I think my reasons were pretty well set out in the email which you received. I think we just kick straight on, if we may, Tony Clark.
Chairman, thank you. At item 1, in advance of today's meeting, I've received formal apologies from Shannon Back, Alderman Alexander Barr, Nicholas Benson-Smith, Simon Duckworth, Deputy Anne Holmes, Deputy Paul Martinelli, Deputy Benjamin Murphy, Deputy Oliver Sells, Deputy James Thompson, and Deputy Christopher Hayward. In addition, members, I'm aware that Deputy Murphy, Simon Duckworth and Oliver Sells are joining us today on Teams.
Thank you, Tony Clark. Can you go on to 2, please?
Chairman, thank you. Item 2, are there any declarations under the Code of Conduct in respect of today's meeting?
Take that as none. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Item 3 are our public minutes of our last meeting on the 16th of September. These are for decision, pages 7 through 16.
Are we happy? There's one mistake here. I think Elizabeth Corrin was here, so we need to add her to the list of attendees. But barring that addition, are we happy to agree the minutes? Thank you.
Chairman, thank you. As per your direction, we will now proceed into our first non-public section of today's meeting. Are members content?
Chair, I object to that. I've got an objection to moving to the item 21 into the private session. I believe the legal justification for this is actually scheduled in paragraph 3 of Schedule 12A of the Local Government Act. And it says information related to the financial affairs of any body, including this authority. Now, this exception is very wide enough, to be honest, to apply to everything that is discussed by this committee, meaning that all of our meetings should be held in private, which would be quite absurd. So I've looked further into this legislation, and paragraph 3 of that schedule says that this paragraph 10 in effect is overridden, and it's overridden in all circumstances of the case where the public interest in maintaining the exemption from public disclosure outweighs the public interest in discussing this information. There is enormous public interest in disclosing what's on agenda item 21, and the discussion, of course, being held in the public, because it concerns the funding of the renovation of this corporation's dilapidated housing estates, which the corporation itself has actually called this and acknowledged 5 months ago that is an ongoing scandal. And I've even got Helen Fentiman here, who's the chair of the Community Children's and Community Services present, so evidently it's a very important topic. Are we actually going to end up compounding this scandal by moving this and discussing this matter in secret? The fact that this report may be embarrassing to the corporation is really not a matter as to why it should not fall within the statutory exemptions for disclosure. So those are my reasons why I think we should hold this in public and not in private.
Thank you. I think I need some technical response there for an officer, please. No, do you sit down?
Are we standing or sitting? Sitting. Chairman, there are some points in the financing there which would be commercial in confidence, i.e. there are proposals as to what we would approach external bodies with or legal advice on that. That said, Chairman, after the discussion has happened, then any further recommendation as to the funding then goes into public in the court paper. So it will become public after those issues have been discussed.
Thank you. Martha.
Chair, thank you. I appreciate that response from the Chamberlain. not one I necessarily agree with, but that's the advice you've had. So what I would ask for, please, is could a vote be taken by this committee and for and against, as I wish to put on record, please, my opposition, as I consider this to be inappropriate use of non-public session.
Okay, I am happy to go to a vote. I think it's quite important that we get our preliminary workings done in private, quite honestly. And as we've been told by the Chamberlain, when these papers, if they're recommended by various committees, go to court, they will then go public. So I suppose from my perspective, this is a pretty serious paper. I think it warrants some pretty important discussion. Personally, I do not agree that we should take it at the moment in non-public. I think we need to do our homework first so that we have in our case, some properly supported financial recommendations, which have then been debated as they were yesterday by RASC and then will be by policy. So I just think that's the right course of action. I have to say, I think I'm happy to go to a vote. That's very, very clearly my view. And I hope that other members will support that.
Just more technical advice then, Chair, with regards to the Local Government Act 1972. Schedule Part 1 of Schedule 12A stipulates that if exempt information is likely to be disclosed, then that's another reason why you moving to sort of a private session with significant ramifications if you were to proceed in public as well.
Stephen.
Thanks, Chair. Just to put on record, because Martha said that intimated that we might want this report discussed in non-public because it is an embarrassment to the corporation. Because given that this is the public section, I would just like to say that I think this is a really positive paper by the corporation in terms of addressing what has been a long-standing issue for the corporation. And so I accept the rationale for discussing it in non-public is not because we're embarrassed by it, but because of the things that have been mentioned by officers that there are
potential exemptions.
There are issues that need to be discussed in public. But I hope in non-public, but I hope that we will be able to put in the public record when we get to it a positive story about what the corporation has been working on the last few weeks.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Can we go straight to a vote in that case? Town Clerk, over to you, I think. I think we want to vote in favour of keeping it in public or in favour of keeping it in non-public. I think probably the best way to start and then go the other way around. So
to begin with, members, those in favour of keeping this paper in public and discussion in public,
In
non-public, please raise their hands. Sorry, Mr. Tunbridge, was that?
well,
And for the record, Chairman, those in favour of taking this into public session. It is, yes. Thank you.
Well, thank you, members. On the basis of that, can we proceed and push and now take the paper in non-public as planned? Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Just for completeness, the members are now content to exclude the public at this point. I'll stop the recording. Thank you.